It's about to start, we'll talk about code or whatever we'll talk about today. It's about to start, so please hang tight while I check that everything is okay. Sound check, camera check, lights check. How's my hair? Oh, wait, I don't have any hair. Maybe put some pants on and I am good to go. So get ready wherever you are, 'cause this stream is about to start. Get ready wherever you are, 'cause this stream is about to start. Hi, my name is Leandro Facchinetti, and let's write some code together, shall we? What we have on the menu today is this, the waveform display. It's coming along fine. It is not perfect, but it's getting better every day. And if you are new here, we are doing real-time audio effects in Reaper using JS effects, and we are developing this library of components that will help you visualize what is going on in the effects, and it will also include some utilities that many audio processors need. Things like computing RMS, some kinds of filters for equalization, that sort of thing. But today we are interested particularly in this component, and it is a first sketch. It's not the first try. It's like the 7th time we have been around this block. And it is still a first sketch of this iteration because, as you can see here on the left, there is a little glitch that is plotting the newest audio coming in on the left. It shouldn't. So we're going to try to fix that today. There is also the fact that this is drawing white on black and overriding this dark gray that we have going on here in the background. We should be using transparency instead, so that this could be plotted on top of anything that is going on in the JS effects. And there are more things that we need to do, but I forget. We'll get there when we get there. I just want to showcase something because I was playing around with this and it's so cool. So Psyche has a new plugin that is still in alpha. It's this lava reverb. Man, look at this interface. This is awesome. It has fluid dynamics here. As you move your cursor, you are interacting with the fluid. And this thing only takes 0.5% of the CPU. I mean, amazing. This is what I look up to. And this is a kind of reverb. So all of these guys are like different parts of the reverb, like the sustain and the attack of the reverb. And then you can right click on stuff and oh, look at that. Look at this interface. Someday we'll get there, but not today. Today we are looking at this. Oh, interesting. It went out of the plugin and back again, and that separation that we had jumped around. Interesting. I guess I know why, and that's another bug that we have to fix, I guess. Yeah, let's add another plugin, any plugin, like ReQ, and I will just move back and forth, and then this line, this seam that is separating things, will move around as I go out and back into the plugin. Now it's around here, and I move out and back in, and now it's around there. Yeah, I think I know why this is happening. And it will be a fun challenge to fix this one because it has to do with timing and it has to do with the UI thread not running all the time. It will get interesting, but let's get into the code. And you know what? I don't feel like doing hard things right away, so I'll do the easy thing first. The easy thing is the colors and the transparency. So I'm going to tackle that first. The issue here is that I'm always drawing white on black. I think that I'm even using GFX set for black, and then I draw a rectangle to erase what was there in the waveform previously. I switch to white and I draw one column of the waveform. I shouldn't be using black and white, I should be using transparent, and the color that you choose. So the user is supposed to give me a color. So here on this drawing function, I would just receive a color. And then right before I do the drawing, I will update the color with the given color. Naturally, when calling this, I will need to then pass a color along. I'll pass blue in this example. And then we should see the waveform in blue, and it is blue. Great. So that's part one. That is the easy part. Now for the slightly trickier part, you see how when I just load the plugin into the track, it is drawing this black box. That's because it's erasing what was already there. And to erase, I'm drawing a black box, but that's not what I should be doing. I should be erasing what was already there using transparency. So for that to work, I think that I need to switch to a different mode of drawing. I will switch to, let's look at the docs for this because I don't remember off the top of my head. JS effects. Okay, so there is this variable called GFX mode and different drawing modes. In case you are familiar with things like Photoshop, you may already know what I'm talking about, but different modes are like when you draw something, is it overwriting what was already there? That's the default mode, to overwrite. Or is it adding to what is already there? So that's another mode of operation in which you are adding to what is already on the canvas. You're not erasing what was there. And I think that we want to switch to this mode. And then you can also disable alpha, but we are specifically getting into this because we want the alpha. So I guess we will set, so the GFX set is actually capable of setting the mode. So I guess I will use the long form version here, and I'm interested in giving, I guess it's going to be black, but fully transparent. So RGB is 0, that's black, but alpha is also 0. So that's a transparent black, and the mode of operation will be mode 1. And in this mode, we are doing additive. So it means that we are adding to what was already there. And as far as the destination, I don't need to change it because I have already set it. I have already set the destination here. Oh, and I should only be doing this if the destination is undefined. I forget what I was doing here, but I think we handled this last time on our last session. And I'm doing this memory allocation thing, and that's fine. Oh, okay, yeah. This works because I am always setting the same image width and height. Okay, so the destination is already set here, so I don't need to reset it there. So then I am doing, well, I guess the color doesn't really matter, so I'll just set the alpha to opacity of 0. And then I need to remember to reset it, so I'll change it back to 1 after I draw the rectangle. And I will want to just set the mode to 1. And I suppose that it's nice to have this as constants because having modes 0 and 1 and 2 is not really all that readable. So since we have a design system, let's include those options in the design system. I have something similar for things like this, where these are magic values that happen to work. So I gave them names, and I'm gonna do something similar. I wonder where I should put this though. Probably before the colors. Yes, this is another instance where I have these names for the magic values in the GFX documentation. So I guess a fair place to put this is up top. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I will call this underscore mode, and then I could call this the default, but I think I'll just call this overwrite. Maybe I'll call it default. Then you need to add one for additive blend mode. So if you want to use multiple of these, you have to add them together. Okay, additive. And I guess there is no easy way for me to specify a subtractive, because you do that by saying that you are in additive mode and then you set a negative alpha. Disable source alpha and disable filter. Okay. And then down here, I will set the mode to additive. And anytime that I change the mode, I need to change it back. So the alpha was easy. I just wanted to change it back here, but I guess the mode I may want to keep around. So I guess I will change the mode up here. And I will have to have a variable that is the previous mode. I'm looking for the best place to put this variable in. I guess right after I collect all the information that I need. Okay, so mode previous is equal to GFX mode, because I will want to reset that later. So I will want a line at the end that does the opposite. And then I do need to specify this right after that. So here. So I set the previous mode and then I overwrite the mode, make it additive. Then over here, I am resetting the alpha. Maybe I should remember the alpha. Yeah, I guess I will. So and there we go. let's review this because I made some changes. So here are the constants for the different modes of operation, the default, additive, disable source alpha and disable filter. And then over here, we have two new variables, mode previous, alpha previous. We reset the GFX mode to get into additive mode. I don't remember if this sticks around as you change destinations or if I should reset when I change the destination. We'll see if this works or not. If it doesn't, it's probably because of that. But then I do have a line where I reset the GFX mode right after everything has been done. And here I draw. It doesn't matter the color, I don't think, but it does matter that it is completely transparent. So I am in fact erasing. It's a long-handed way of erasing something on the screen. I think that this is how you do it. Then I draw a rectangle on that place that is exactly 1 pixel wide. And then reset the alpha. This way you are able to set the alpha before calling this drawing function, and it will draw the waveform with this transparency, which is sort of cool. And then draw the rectangle in the given color. All right, okay. I'm happy with these changes. Let's see if they also work, besides making me happy. Okay, it seems like it works, because now this waveform drawing is not interesting. We are getting a different color here. So this waveform drawing is not erasing the background. The dark gray is still here. But now it is not erasing things from the past. It's always adding to that. It gets quite interesting, actually. I love the way it looks. It's just not what we are going for, but I love the way it looks. So to really prove the point that we are not erasing the background, how about we do something to the background? What are we going to do to the background? How about we put an image there? Because I have never worked with plotting an image in JS Effects. I know it's possible, I just have never done it. So let's see how that works. Yeah, let's play around with that. So this is how you specify a file name that can be used later in the code, and it can be a PNG. So let's do that. Let's get into this folder where I am doing my development. And how about we put a picture in there? Hang on, I'll grab a picture here. It's me. Then we'll have a picture. And then we need to do this on, not on the library, but on the effect itself. And I guess I'll put this after sliders and options, but before the import. So there. These lines can be used to specify file names, which can be used by code later. These definitions include the index and a file name. The indices must be listed in order without gaps. The first should always be 0. The second, if any, should always be 1, and so on. So why do you ask me for the number if it has to be that way? Completely unnecessary. Oh, I guess it is because then it makes explicit to the user which number they should provide later. So I guess that's that. To use for generic data files, the files should be located in the Reaper data directory, and this can be opened with file open passing the file name index. You may also specify a PNG file. If you specify a file ending in PNG, it will be opened from the same directory as the effect, and you can use the file name index as the parameter to GFX split. That's exactly what we are going for. So let's put our picture PNG. And oh, look at that. Looks amazing. Ooh, interesting. This is glitching because I am loading the picture in index 0 as required by JS effects. But in index 0 is also the place where I am allocating the temporary image where I draw my waveform to. So I'm drawing on top of junk, and I guess this is my face turned into junk and drawing a waveform on top of it. I love the way it looks again. It seems like many of the mistakes are happy accidents. But first of all, I wonder what happens if I put something that doesn't exist. This is just out of curiosity. When I see a system like this, I always like to try the edge cases. So it doesn't complain. It doesn't do anything. Even if I save, it's recompiling okay. So that's fine. And it doesn't instantiate the image because it doesn't exist, so it doesn't glitch out. But if I put my picture back, then it's glitching out. Perfect. So now what I need to do is on my image allocator, I need to change this next available index because now I have indices that are used like this. And I guess this becomes part of the public API of the memory allocator. It's just the way it is. So with this fix, I should now be drawing the waveform on another. And there you go. So now this is drawing the waveform on another temporary image, so it's not conflicting with anything. So with that, we should be able to come here to the GFX block after the background color, but before the waveform drawing, we should be able to GFX glitch. And I guess I should give this a name like picture is index 0. So then I will be splitting the picture with a scale of 1, a rotation of 0, and I will be doing this over the same range. This is X, Y, width and height. So I will be plotting my picture first, and then I will be plotting the waveform later. And the waveform should not be overwriting what was on the picture. Interesting, it doesn't work. It's not plotting anything. Why would that be? It seems like the name of the image is correct. It is picture.png relative to the path where I am, and I was wondering if I needed a slash. It doesn't seem like I do. Yeah, I don't know. We could take a look at other JS effects to see how they are working with file name and how they're bleeding stuff. Let's try that. So here's an example. And then GFX split, image 1. That's this one. What is this picture? Ah, okay, cool. Yeah. This is doing exactly what we did. What if I don't draw the waveform display? Is the waveform messing with drawing the image? Nope. It's just not liking it. Let's try to find something that is simpler to look at. This may be simpler. And by simpler, I mean all the code is here. There are no imports. Why is this splitting on the sample block? Oh no, it's not in the sample block. It's in the GFX block. So it just sets the coordinates and blits. Well, one interesting thing is that they're not using the long form of blit. So let's try that. Maybe when you're splitting an image, you cannot use the long form with all the coordinates. Who knows? Oh, there you go. That was it. So you cannot blit with the long form of specifying the coordinates and everything. It doesn't stretch the image for you. Good to know. What if I specify here my scale? I think it's scale 100, but I forget. Yeah, it's scale 100. Hang on, wasn't this my mistake before? I think it was. Rotate 0. That's a thing. Yeah, I think that my mistake is I had a scale 1, which is an undefined variable, so it would be a scale of 0. Because undefined variables are 0 in JS effects. Okay, let's try this. There you go. That was the mistake. Okay. Yeah, so the mistake is that I had this instead, and this is an undefined variable, which is 0, so it would be trying to scale it to 0, so it was hiding the image effectively. Okay. And I proved my point. My waveform display is not overriding my image. Great. Oh, see the mistake here? Oh. Rotate 0? Or rotation 0? It's rotate 0. So there were two mistakes. Right, so definitely we are doing something weird with erasing and everything. So I see two weird things. Let's drop the effect into the track again. And then the first weird thing is drawing the blue on top of the image is in additive mode. It shouldn't be. And it's not erasing as it should be. Well, let's start with the second problem. Or I guess the first problem. Let's start with the problem of the image of the waveform being blitted on top of my face with additive mode. It shouldn't be in additive mode for that. So I made a mistake there. Where is this being reset? Here. So I will do this before I do this splitting. I think I can do it here. And then that moves there. Okay, so now I think it should be bleeding on top of my face without that weird artifact. It's now not in additive mode for that drawing, but it's still in additive mode for this drawing. And it should be in additive mode for this drawing, but it should be erasing what was already there, and it's not. So I don't really know why. This is not erasing as it should. Maybe I need to draw in white, but fully transparent. Yeah, right. Let's try that. So now we need to wait for one lap of this thing to see if it's going to draw weirdly on top of itself, and it's still doing that. So it's not the color. What if I just don't draw at all? If I just don't draw at all, I expect it to do exactly what it was doing before, and overriding or adding just like that. Okay. What if instead of white I do black? And you may be wondering, why am I doing this long form instead of using GFX set? Well, because GFX set has some side effects in terms of like it changes alpha, it may change the mode or the destination, I'm not really sure, so I'm constraining the effects. This is just drawing in black, it's not changing any other variable. Okay, let's try this. It's drawing in black, fully transparent, and still doing the same weird thing. What else could be wrong here? I don't know. Is the mode wrong? Or should I have an alpha of -1 to subtract? I don't think so. What if I just don't change modes? Then I expect my image to be covered by black. Doesn't seem to be though. Interesting. Let's see what happens when it comes around. Oh, so it seems to be working now. No, it's not, because it's not overriding what was already there. See, even as I keep, even as I am silent, it's still moving around. So it means that it's not erasing what was already there. I don't know. It has to do with mode. I am messing something up. I don't know what I'm messing up though. I do want to show something else. I said that I wanted to fix this glitch on the left. I'm not fixing the glitch on the left. Then I said that I would try to do the color thing. Made some progress. I drew myself on the plugin. I should have that on the plugin. Made some progress, but I didn't exactly get all the way there. But I do want to take a tangent because it's going to be fun. So I was playing around with this idea of drawing the waveform display, I am playing around. This is how this is working right now. I am drawing the waveform on this temporary image, and it draws from left to right, and then I have this split in the middle, and I bleed twice left and right. It gets really interesting and complicated, and there is a previous stream in which I explained all this, and it was just the last stream in which we actually implemented this whole thing, this splitting into parts thing. But I was thinking, well, I can just bleed an image on top of itself and bleed everything to the left. So let me explain what I mean by this using a new Liafac remove me JS effects. It will be a very simple one. It only has a GFX block. And when we are drawing into the frame buffer that you actually see, that's something that you don't have access to later because it has been erased the next time we go around the GFX block. So I'll change to the destination 0, and then at the end I'll change the destination -1, and I will split 0 with scaling of 1, rotation of 0 from 0, 0, 1,000, 1,000 maybe. And in this, I will set the image dimensions of 1,000. 1,000. I will set my color to white, and I will draw a rectangle in position 500, 500. Its size will be 2020. So if I did everything correctly, this should draw a white rectangle or a white square. Oh no, set image dimensions needs 3 parameters. It needs the destination image itself. And here is our white square. Maybe too far down the screen. How about we change this to 100. And this image can be like 500. Oh, and I will set the size to be 500, 500 as well, so it opens on this size when we load it on the track. Just like this, simple stuff. Okay, I did this whole thing of drawing into a separate image just so that I am able now to GFX. So before I draw the rectangle, this is the line that draws the rectangle. Before I do that, I will bleed, and this is quite interesting, I will bleed the image onto itself, but I will bleed it with a scale of 1, rotation of 0. The x coordinate is going to be 1. The y coordinate is going to be 0. The width is going to be 499, and the height is going to be 500. The effect that this has is that it's going to bleed the image onto itself, removed 1 pixel to the left, which means that the square is going to keep going to the left, and we draw a new one in place. To actually make all of this make sense, how about we don't draw the rectangle in position 100, but instead we add the sign of the time precise times, like, let's say 40. This is just something that is going to oscillate up and down. Maybe not. Maybe it's not something that is going to oscillate up and down. Let's see what we have here. Oh, time precise is a function. I should be calling it. It's not a variable. Oh, there you go. So now it's moving up and down. Let's play around with these coordinates a little, because it's still not doing the thing that I want to show. Anytime I do a full recompile reset, it's resetting the image. That's good. So let's think about these coordinates for the bleeding. I am bleeding this source, which is itself, so I'm bleeding it onto itself. Scale is 1, rotation is 0. The source is 1. Width and height. Oh, I am not setting the destination. Yeah, that's an issue. So I should set the destination. The destination is 0, 0, 499, 500. Let's check this out. It's not making any difference, so it's still not showing what I want to show. Let's think about this again. I am getting the coordinates wrong, I think. I want to translate the whole image to the left, which means that I need to drop the rightmost pixel, which means that I want the coordinate 0 here. And I want the coordinate 1 there. Nope, I want the coordinate 0 here as well. So no, something is up. I'm still not getting the coordinates right. I want to move the whole image to the left. That means that I want to drop the leftmost column, and I want... How do I drop the leftmost column? I set the x coordinate to 1. That's going to drop the leftmost column. And then I am dropping the leftmost column, so it means that my width is now 499. Then I want to plot this on the left, which means that I want the coordinates 0, 0, 499, 500. This is supposed to be correct. I'll just make this bigger in the hopes that it helps. No, I'm still getting the same weird result. The thing is, when I do a full compile reset here, while it's splitting 1 pixel to the left, it should be getting some black, which means that it should be not creating a full solid square. Not even the tangent on the tangent on the tangent is going right today. Things are messy. It should be drawing like tracing a path of the square. But it's not what this is doing. This is so odd, and it's not what I had in my tests. What if instead of dropping 1 pixel, we drop 10 pixels? Is that going to help? No. Gets so weird. The weird thing about this for me is that it should be tracing the path. It should be like a line going up and down, not a solid square. This is so odd. I am almost 100% sure that the problem is here, but let's review the whole code. I go to a different destination and I come back. In the end, I'm going to plot source 0, which is this other destination, on a scale of 1, rotation of 0, coordinates 0, 0, 1000, 1000. Where do I want to plot this to? 0, 0, 1000, 1000. Okay, that doesn't change anything. Then, what am I doing to this temporary image? Well, I am drawing a rectangle in white. This rectangle is going to be in coordinate 100, and then this is just moving it up and down. And this is the size of the square. Simple. Then I also set the image dimensions. That's simple. So yeah, the source of the bug is here. Why is this not sliding as I think it should be sliding? I don't know. I'll try to rewrite it. So what am I bleeding? I am bleeding the image itself. Scale of 1, rotation of 0. Now for the tricky part, the coordinates. The source is the image. I want to slide everything to the left. So what if I just use 0 and 1,000 and 1,000? Then on the destination, I can pass -1 and 0 and 1,000 and 1,000. Still doing the same. Oh, that's too bad. I had such an interesting demo for this. And I don't think I have the code for that anymore, but it was such an interesting demo because it was doing some beautiful glitchy art. So let's recap. What's the intent of this demo in the first place? The idea here is that instead of doing the whole complicated thing I am doing in the waveform display, because I'm doing something complicated here where I am, and this is actually the source of this glitch here. I'm doing something complicated where I draw from left to right, I slice in the middle, and I bleed twice, left and right, and I have to keep track of where I am in this slice. It gets really weird and complicated. What if instead I just split the image, which is the current waveform, a little to the left, and then I have some space on the right to do more drawing? And that's actually something I think I have seen in some other effects, this splitting of the image onto itself. So that's what I was going for. And I wanted, instead of drawing a waveform, just draw this box that represents something going up and down in time, and then I would be sliding everything to the left. But the tricky thing is that it should be doing something like this. It should be going up and drawing its trace, and then the trace was supposed to be a long line, not a block of white. I really wish I hadn't deleted that code. Yeah, let's try the easy things again. Yeah, I'll just try this again. But if I move to the left by 10, if I just put a 0 here, what happens then? Just moving faster. But if I have a -10 here, but a 0 here, now I'm just trying things to see what they look like. It seems like nothing changes the result. It really wants to be that way. I put a -10 there. And 0 here. Then it's doing the same, except it's moving the other way. Come on. This makes no sense, because at the time I am doing this splitting, this rectangle isn't there yet. Let's change this color as well. Cool. Now we can sort of see this trace that I'm talking about. The image should be just this trace. cool. It is cool, but it makes no sense to me. I have stared this for too long. I don't know what's up. Okay, how about something else? I stared at this for the longest time. I don't know. I'm at loss. This is so weird. Let's have the file name thing we just learned about and play around with that. Because, man, I should be able to draw something that moves to the left, right? It will be file name 0, picture PNG, and then we learned that we can blit 0. Okay, so the image started to bleed here, but it's 100 is too small. Now the image is there, my face. Great. What do I need to do if I want to slide it to the left? I will have a slider. I'll call it offset. It goes from 0 to okay, so I have a slider now. What do I need to do to the slider to move it to the left? I need to add here to the source. And what happens if I do this whole shenanigans of drawing to a second image? Oh, I actually don't need to do that. I can just use my image. I will blit using the long form. I guess I'm just playing around since nothing is working for me. Cool. But really, I proved my point with this offset thing. Not that. thing, but with this thing, I proved the point that I'm able to offset something to the sides by changing the x coordinate. So why? Why? So cool. Look at that. There is some junk in that place in memory. Now there is no junk there. What happens if I just draw this rectangle once? So if I have not ran, then next time around I have run, and then I close. Isn't this amazing? I drew only once and I'm moving the image to the left. I just proved that I'm moving the image to the left because the line is going to the left. And yet here we are. This is not moving to the left. It's just expanding. Is it because I have to erase the image? Yeah, I think that may be it. Let's try this. So I'm bleeding over there, and then I will rect on position 100, or actually 99. Well, I want to set black. That is more like it. So now let's not just run this once, let's keep running this. Now the opposite problem is happening. It's not showing the trace on the left. Now it seems like it's not moving the image to the left. It's not bleeding to the left. Oh boy. What the hell? Source seems right. Scale, rotation. I am moving to the left, so I want to take out this leftmost pixel. Only go 499. In terms of width, the height is okay. I'm bleeding over there. The width is 499. Same story. Now it's the opposite problem. Why is this not moving to the left? Why? This should be moving to the left fast now. stared this for 1 hour now, and it makes no sense. I'll call it. I don't know. I'll explain again what's the intent here. What if, instead of doing a complicated thing where we have a panel drawing a waveform from left to right, we slice this panel and we bleed it so that it looks like the image is scrolling? What if, instead of doing that, we just take the waveform display and we bleed it on top of itself 1 pixel to the left? This opens up a space on the right for us to draw the next column or the next columns of the waveform display. This is a prototype that shows exactly that concept, the concept of moving something to the left, of sliding something over to make up space. When I tried this before, it worked. It was drawing just one, it was drawing the trace of the moving line. The moving line was, the moving square was representing this concept of the waveform coming in and redrawing it. So as it moved to the left, it started to bleed an image on top of itself so many times that it was becoming blurry, and that was kind of an interesting effect in and of itself. It's something that we may actually do in the future as special effects in the user interface for whatever reason. That worked before. That's the story that I wanted to show. But now this code is not doing the same as my prototype before, and I have no idea why. Sometimes it's like that. Tomorrow I'll be back here staring at this for more hours. Maybe we'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye.